said, how important are grades for you guys in the recruiting process? Anyone can do this randomly.
They're everything. Do we want to start down?
Yeah, you want to go?
Yeah, just go down the line.
They are paramount to the process, and I cannot express to you enough how important they are. For us, and I would assume it's the same at the Division I level with scholarships and different things like that, and I'm not going to get into the whole process of equivalencies and this, that, and the other thing, but the better your grades are, the better your academic money is going to be. You know, the more attractive you are to us, because you may have less need in terms of scholarship dollars on the athletic side. The better your grades are, if you hit certain thresholds, then your academic money doesn't count against us. So, and the reality is you want the most options that you can have. I mean, it would be pretty brutal to be recruited by a school and not be able to get in. So I don't know about these guys. We don't have too many get out of jail free cards where they'll let a kid in with a subpar GPA.
For the most part, for us, I'd like the players here to know that academic performance reflects somewhat of what type of young man you are. If you get good grades, that means you're pretty locked in. You understand. You know what your priorities are. You're taking school seriously, and if you're going to take school seriously as a teenager, that means you're probably taking the other aspects of your life pretty seriously too. And you're staying out of trouble when you go out with your friends, and when you're on the athletic field, you're listening to your coaches and you're playing hard. The only byproduct, well, not the only, but one of the major byproducts of early recruiting that I've seen, and that's the life that I live in right now with recruiting, is it gives us an opportunity to really educate the young men about this, because they'll know at an early age what the benchmark is, what they need. I get a kid who's saying he has a 3.3. I'm saying, okay, that's pretty good, but throughout the next 2 years, if you commit to us, we want to make sure you're above a 3.3. And if you start going down, then that's going to jeopardize your likelihood of maybe getting in. And if you haven't taken your SATs yet, well, now we can at least educate them on, okay, you start taking it at the beginning of your junior year. All right. If you don't do as well on your SAT, we found that young men do better, at least in experiences of the kids that have come to Maryland or that we've recruited, that young men do better on the ACT than the SAT. They do. For some reason, the test is broken down. Young guys' attention spans, myself, my attention span isn't great. But the ACT breaks into different sections, a little shorter. It's the same length of the test, but shorter sections, different stuff that they're testing you on. It's not just reading and then answering 15 questions in a 45-minute period like the SAT is. So we're able to get that information out earlier to our student athletes that we're recruiting. So they're better prepared to take those standardized tests, and they understand that, hey, I got a really good thing going here. Like, I better lock myself in academically or I'm going to risk this.
This year Loyola joined the Patriot League, so we have an academic index. Kids have to hit a certain mark with their test scores and their grades. So to us, plus the Ivy League is the same thing. They have an academic index. You have to hit certain grades with that league too, just to be considered as a student athlete. Doesn't guarantee that you're in, but just to be considered, if you have a bottom number that you must hit. And in saying that, the Patriot League, a little bit different than the Ivy League, is that the Patriot League only counts your first 3 years. So if you screw up in your freshman year, you're playing catch-up the whole time. You don't have your senior year to catch up. Whereas in the Ivy League, you do have your senior year to catch up a little bit before you get admitted that you can get your GPA up to a certain level, right? Well, what the early recruiting in the Patriot League and in the Ivy League with these guys, you get 2 C's in your freshman year, you might be on the outside looking in right away. So it's very important. Your freshman year counts here, right? You can't take your freshman year off and try to figure this thing out.
And we're, again, probably a little bit different. Freshman year is huge. If you start out at a 2.2, it's tough to get over a 3.0. I'm looking down a little bit, and I see AP and honors for my school, and we're different. As a state school versus a private school, we don't get any slots. I get no help in admissions. You have to be an excellent student with a good, solid 4-year transcript. Parents, I would say, encourage your sons and Steve asked about daughters. Encourage your sons and daughters, as many honors classes, as many AP classes as you can take right out of the gate. If you don't have any your junior year, we like to see that you've taken a couple your senior year. That means a lot to us that you're challenging yourself. A good positive upward trend is very, very important. I agree with the ACT. It used to be a West Coast thing and a Midwest thing. Man, it's a great test. Don't beat your head against the wall taking the SAT 3, 4, 5 times and they're frustrated. Take the ACT. A lot of times your composite is going to predict that a lot better on the ACT as well. We'll take either one. But again, with the same coach, I mean, you have to have a solid transcript. You know, I like the fact that I don't tell my kids we have to get a line. At St. Mary's, every kid's looked at individually. So you can, you know, we can work, and our scale is the higher the GPA, we can have a little bit lower SAT. But do everything you can now. The only caveat, underwater basket weaving gets a bad rap. It's a good class. It's tough to go down there and actually get that done. But really, like, I know it sounds cool to take guitar and photography and all that, but we're looking for 4 years of academic courses, without a doubt. English, math, history, Spanish, you know, language, your sciences. I know a requirement. It may only be 3 years of science. Take the 4th year of science. I mean, it's only going to help prepare you for life after high school.
Just to hit on what Coach Hasbrook said, is it the same with you guys as far as honors and AP courses? I mean, do you encourage them? Do you want to see the more AP and honors courses? Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be no different when you step on campus. We're not gonna not challenge you, so as soon as we, you know, at an early age, we want you guys to consistently be challenging yourselves academically, and like Coach said, it was probably more funny than I can. Yeah, like photography and underwater basket weaving, like, we don't want to see that. Like, we don't want senior year coach session, and that's a big conversation that we have with all of our juniors as well. Like, yeah, well, my school, he says I need 3 years on math. It's like, well, you say you want to be a business major, so you know you're going to have to take Calc 1 and Calc 2 when you get to Maryland, right? So you're just going to take 400 days off and not a math class. So, you know.
I know, sorry to interrupt, but I know in Anne Arundel County, I don't know how it is, they also have this early release period where they either go and they take courses at Anne Arundel Community College, which I would assume is good, but they also could just go to work. Would you encourage them to not take that half-day release if it is that they are going to work? And I use that word kind of loosely because sometimes they just go home.
Certainly not.
I mean, yeah, you know, tell them to, you know, stay in the academic side of the thing.
Also, lastly, for us, if you get a 4 or 5 on your AP test that transfers in as credit, you become an extremely desirable roommate because you get the preferred housing quicker. So that's always, I have some kids that take the AP class and don't take the test. Go ahead and take the test, well worth it. You know, if you can come in with 15 or 16 credits, you know, you can lighten the load up in the spring a little bit, which is always a positive thing. So challenge yourself. College is tough. Challenge yourself.
We only have a few more